What is the worst case of psycho-overprotective parenting that you've ever seen? I was TIing a general chemistry lab in college, and a parent emailed me after the first lab report with an annotated copy of the graded assignment which I gave a B+. Little Johnny had never gotten a B in a class before, and I was just being unfair since it was his first semester in college. Long story short, she threatened to go to the professor. I said go ahead, and they did. The professor was awesome. When kids bitch about their grades, he offers them a grade, and then goes over the report with a fine-toothed comb. The B+ got changed to a C. Edit: the student was the one who ultimately asked for the regrade. Would he have asked for one if his parents didn't make a stink? Maybe. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Part of being in college is learning how to take responsibility for your actions. And there's a reason professors rely on TAs for grading freshman lab assignments. Their time and attention is better spent elsewhere. Asking the professor for a personal regrade must carry downside risk. Otherwise everyone would ask for one every time. Please feel free to question the grader on anything. That's part of their job too. Just make sure you have a solid case before requesting a formal regrade. On my friend's 13th birthday, his big brother was taking us paintballing. We said bye to his mom. She was, in full disclosure, a severe paranoid schizophrenic who liked to go off her meds. Anyhow, we left the house and headed to paintball. At a random gas station a good half hour away, we stopped for snacks. When the older brother goes inside, the mom pulls up to a screeching halt next to us, rolls down the window and starts yelling at us to make sure the older brother spends all the money on paintball, rocking the crazy eyes the whole time. She leaves by rolling around to the back of the gas station and idling there. When the older brother got back, we told him what was going on. He told us to buckle up. Sure enough, we pulled out of the gas station, and she starts to try tailing us. I say try, because next thing I know we're on the freeway doing at least 100 dodging from lane to lane till we found a quick off-ramp that took us under a bridge, where we hid for a few minutes to make sure we had lost her. The older brother refused to let her ruin my friend's 13th birthday. He was a good dude. I had an ex-boyfriend from high school whose parents were very strict about him dating. So we always had group dates. We weren't allowed to be alone. We went over to his house for a movie night, and everyone all of a sudden left, but it was super late, and my dad's place was across town. So I called for him to pick me up, but it was going to take 45 minutes to get there. His parents made me wait outside on the porch alone in November, in Canada. It was cold. He wasn't allowed to wait outside with me. They didn't even let me wait in the foyer with them supervising. Now that is just cruel. They were people of God, so you know, upstanding good people who followed the word of the Bible, but figuratively shit on anyone who wasn't in their circle. I wasn't in their circle because my parents were divorced. All of their children were amazingly wonderful and kind people though. I had a friend growing up whose mom refused to send out a Christmas card with her and her brother's photos on it. The mom was convinced at the end of the season, once people threw away the cards, the garbage man or anyone rifling through the trash would see her amazing beautiful children, find the address on the discarded envelope, and come kidnap the kids from their home. She did many other bizarre things, but that one always stuck out to me. I went to high school with a guy whose parents had a camera installed in his room that fed into a TV screen in their bedroom. When he told me, I assumed it was one of those things they used when he was a baby, then disabled when he was older. Nope, according to him they still kept it on 24/7, even though he was like 17 years old. I'd never been so creeped out. My wife's mother. Too many acts of lunacy to mention, but the one that sticks out was when we went to their house for a family barbecue. We were in our mid-20s. Mom decides to start a fight over my presence, as I wasn't family and thus should not be attending. Wife says, if he's not welcome, we're leaving. Mom says, no you're not. You're grounded. Wife just gives her this tilt your head sideways look and says, we're going back to our house. You're grounded? Seriously? Sounds like she is delusional, and not in an insulting way, like yeah you should have a doctor check into that way. Girl at school wasn't allowed any sugar, no sweets, not even fruit. It was weird. I invited her to a party at mine, and her parents came around before the party to check if our house was safe. They asked if our gate was locked to keep people out. It wasn't fair on her though. Every birthday or party she'd eat tons of junk food and feel ill, and she used to crawl around the classroom pretending she was a cat. I think they broke her. My ex's mom screamed in my face, legit inches from my face, that I was stealing her son away when he bought his house. It was his decision to buy a house, and he had wanted me to live with him. The location of the house, you ask? Directly across the street from where his parents live. I know someone who just moved into her college dorm a couple weeks ago. This girl has never had a house key as her mom wouldn't allow it. If she wanted in the house, mom better be there. Her parents also have all of her social media passwords, and her mom openly states she used to go read the chat conversations. Not as bad as others, however the girl has already been home one weekend and is set to come back in a few weeks. We're all wondering how she'll rebel once she's under the college experience. This girl's brother, who is in middle school, maybe just started high school, is worse. He is so coddled that he freaked out when he was left in a waiting room at a doctor's office alone, while his uncle went back for his appointment. The kid could not be left alone. For the record, neither kid is special needs. I once dated a girl with absolutely insane parents. Throughout middle and high school, they refused to let her go out to anything but school and choir trips. She had to argue and bargain with them for months just to be able to go to senior prom. They wouldn't let her go to junior prom. They also refused to let her get a driver's license or a car, to limit her mobility. Even to this day they refuse to let her go out. She, a 20-year-old woman, has to get permission from her super restrictive mom and dad to go out for coffee at the cafe downstairs. The worst part of all of this is that she can't move out, as they have hold of her passport and where she lives. It's more or less impossible to get anything done without it. Edit. To all of you talking about the legality of withholding her passport, I don't know for sure whether it is or not. The laws where I live sometimes had really backwards policies. I have advised her to try to take action/escape many times, but for personal reasons she has decided not to. I disagree entirely with her choice, but it's her choice to make, not mine. My first boyfriend in high school practically lived at our house, because my mother refused to let me go to his. He was over every day after school, and most weekends. Finally I convinced her to let me drive myself to his house. At this point, I had met his dad twice, and his dad thought he did something to offend me/scare me off, because I never came to visit them. I really wanted to go hang out with him and his dad. So I drove myself to his house, with the condition that I call my mother immediately upon arrival from their phone. Google Maps said it should take 8 minutes to get there. 8 minutes and 45 seconds later, I get an enraged phone call from my mom. I was just walking in the door, and I hadn't called her yet. She made me immediately return home and grounded me from my cell phone for a month. I work security at a college, so I've seen my fair share. This wasn't so much overprotective as it was babying. I once had a mother call our office. The exchange went as follows. Mother, hello, can you please go tell my son's professor that he won't be in class today? He doesn't feel well. Me, where is your son? Mother, oh he's there, on campus, in the dorms. Me, ma'am, I don't know who your son's professor is, and even if I did, it's his responsibility to get in touch with them. Not mine or yours. Mother, oh, I know, but he called me and asked me to call him out of class. Me, he's in college now. He's 18. He can do this on his own. He doesn't even need to call, he can email his professor. Huh, laughing, you're so right. One time, when I was about 6, I was playing on a playground. Anyway, I went down this tube slide thing. It was totally covered, and this little girl walked in front of it. Well, surprise surprise, I hit her. Her mother got super mad at me and told me that I should pay more attention in the future. Bitch, I was on a slide. Wife grew up in a quiverful family. She was only allowed to wear ankle-length skirts, no movies at any time, only parental approved books, Pilgrim's Progress, the Bible, theology books, no music except for classical and hymns. In order to date her, I had to court her. That involved never being alone, her parents inviting themselves to our anniversary dinners, siblings repeating every word that we said back to her parents. I gave her a goodbye hug, and her mother yelled at her, calling her a whore and a loose woman. When she finally gave up and ran away, they chased her to her car screaming, and tried to block her in the driveway with a tractor. My former roommate's parents were extremely protective of my roommate. Once I woke up to 3 calls and 4 texts from her mom asking if my roommate was in the room. I replied back yes. Later that day my roommate explained to me that there was a girl murdered in North Carolina that fit her description, and her parents wanted to make sure she was alive. We go to school over 400 miles away from North Carolina. My first roommate in college was extremely coddled by his mother, or at least I thought so. His home was about an hour away from campus, and she came up every day to get his laundry and make his bed, clean his side of the room. They were both neat freaks, and I wasn't a slob by any means, but I wasn't quite as neat as either of them would have liked. What ended up happening is, I would come back from class and find her making my bed, organizing my desk and picking up my dirty clothes. Didn't really appreciate that, but I didn't want to make waves so I just kept my mouth shut. Finally it got really weird when I came back to the room after a class had gotten cancelled, and they were both in the same twin bed. He was sleeping and she was stroking his hair/face and singing him a lullaby. Oh my god.